All right, tease it before the break. We have a little game here we're going to do. We have this draft board, prospect rankings on CBSSports.com. You can go check them out. It's a top 400 board. It has pretty much all the names that anyone
I'd like to know who put this board together.
It's a conglomeration of, so my board only went out to 100. So I don't know how we got 400 names, but we got 400 names on this board. So we're going to pick guys, and we're going to go before and after the combine, because everyone at CBS here is going to update their boards post-combine, all the draft analysts. So it's going to get updated, and we're going to bet which one of us, after 5 rounds of drafting, has the most rising high. The guys rise the most spots on the draft board. If you can figure out what I just said,
you figure that out. You deserve the right number one.
I mean, I am also a little biased in that my board's going to factor into this, so I can help myself out here.
Is that cheating?
Well, you only did 100,
but there's like 5. It's 5.
You only did 100.
So when you redo it, are you going to do 300?
I'm going to go out to I think at least 150. So
okay.
So,
this first name, I was baffled that y'all guys had him ranked this low.
I think this might have just been like a forgotten about one. Is what it is.
Brandon Adams at 368 is ridiculous. I mean, guys that are 6'3".
Where do you go to school?
He went to UCF.
Okay,
he went
that's
to
what
UCF.
I thought. That's what I thought.
At the Senior Bowl.
That's what I thought.
If you're looking for a man cover corner, he's your guy. That's where he lives. Again, the measurables are out of this world. I think he's going to run really well. Honestly, after this week in the combine, I could see you guys putting him even within the 150 range.
Oh,
right?
wow.
If you got a 200 spot bump.
You got a 200 spot bump.
He would over.
My thing is, why is he at 368 in the first place?
Yeah.
Well,
that's just a bad ranking.
But that's why I put him down there.
Right.
After the combine, they'll be like, well, we shouldn't have had him this low. We're going to move him all the way up.
All right, that's a good one.
So that's why I chose him first.
But he's from UCF.
That's why I chose him first.
My pick was LeJohntay Webster.
You
Webster.
love LeJohntay Webster.
I love him too.
And the reason I like him is because I like little guys who can run. And I think he's a tough kid. He's a Florida kid.
Yes.
He can return punts. I think LeJohntay Webster is going to be a big-time player in the NFL.
Leger drafts the UCF grad. Pete drafts the smallest wide receiver in the draft. I think we see a trend.
Taz might be a little smaller than LeJohntay.
Fair. I'm going to go another small-ish wide receiver. I'm going to go Jalen Noel, the Iowa State wide receiver. He's 166 right now on the CBS draft board. He was at the Senior Bowl. Guy can really roll. I have him among my top 10 wide receivers in this draft class. We shall see where he ends up after this. But he could throw low 4.4s, high 4.3s. If he does that, tests very well in the broad vert stuff. I think we'll be talking about him.
He's at 166. He doesn't have a lot of way to go up much. Really.
Yeah.
8 spots. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I think he'll go up into the top 100 after this.
I mean, you didn't explain the game, so I don't know if you understand.
It's by points, how many slots you move up on the board.
Yeah.
Totaling over 5 different guys. My next one, I did not do this well because I picked 146 here. Nick Martin out of Oklahoma State. But I'm just going guys that I know for a fact are going to test well and get themselves up board. He's the Oklahoma State linebacker. Undersized, yes. 6 foot, 222. But I would not be surprised if he runs in the 4.4s at that size. And if he does, there's some linebackers in this class that are going to roll.
I was going to say, this is a fast linebacker class.
He's amongst them. I love his tape before he got hurt. 146, he can go higher.
And I'm going with a wide receiver from Washington State named Kyle Williams.
See, I forgot about him.
And he's at 222, and there's no way he should be ranked at 222.
That's embarrassing.
So unless he stumbles all over himself here, he's going to be way higher on this board. And I think he's going to have a good workout here. So he's at 222. I think Kyle Williams goes way up.
This next guy I've had an affinity with. I put Ryan Wilson on this guy sometime in October. I've called 2 of his games. That's Zay Frazier from UTSA. People give the comparison to Tariq Woolen, yes, because they went to the same school, but they're different players. Zay Frazier, I liken it to this, Pete. I said after week 6 last season, there wasn't a corner that played with more confidence than Zay Frazier. And he's only a 1-year starter, so there's so much room to grow. I talked to his head coach, Jeff Traylor. They said he's going to run 4.2 something. Ooh. So after that, him at 156, and he was at the East-West game.
Yeah.
I honestly think he's going to be a top 90 pick. This kid can fly. He can play man. He can play zone coverage. He's a long corner. You know this, Pete. Long corners don't grow on trees.
Nope.
Like, you got length at corner, you're going to go high in the draft. So
he'll go up 60 spots?
I think he's going to go up at least 60 spots.
There's two ways to recover a corner. One's fast. One's to have long arms.
Yeah.
He's got both.
He's got both.
Yeah.
He's got both of them.
Right?
He's
going to go up 60 spots. You got him 60 spots.
I got to go up 60 spots.
That would be a heck of a jump.
Yeah.
You got another one. Snaking it.
Yep. Femi Oladejo. Another guy I have an affinity with. had a heck of a Senior Bowl. He was a guy that kind of like people talk about Abdul Carter being a off the ball linebacker. This was Femi Oladejo's first year on the line of scrimmage, and boy, did he impress. He's a guy that can only rush at the end. He could rush at 3 technique. He did that at the Senior Bowl. But Pete, you know what else he did? He did one-on-ones with the linebackers and dropped and covered running backs at the Senior Bowl as well. So you talk about a guy that's highly versatile. I couldn't believe he was at 149. I think he's going in the second round. So this is another guy I think that's going to jump at least 40 to 50 spots.
My guy is running back Jaden Blue from Texas. And I know he was in a rotation system there. But, boy, I'll tell you what, he can do a lot of things, and he's got speed. And I think he's going to test well here. I think he's going to run well. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I love this kid. I think this is way too low at 258.
He was Emery's pick yesterday for fastest 40 at the combine.
I'm telling you, you watch the tape. He runs away from people.
He can fly.
All right, my pick, I got back-to-backs here. I'm going to go highlight 2 offensive linemen because offensive linemen combines matter as well. Luke Kandra from Cincinnati. Yeah, the short shuttle.
Yeah.
Well, go look up the fastest short shuttle of all time in O-line. It matters. Luke Kandra, Cincinnati offensive line. I don't think he's going to
Kelsey, wasn't
it? Kelsey was, yeah. Was. So, and then I think second was Tyler Linderbaum as pro day. But Luke Kandra, 289th, Cincinnati guard. I don't think he's going to test off the charts, but he's going to test, I think, well. And just like testing well, people are going to force him to go back and watch his tape, and his tape at Cincinnati is very good. And then Chase Lunt from UConn, this guy is going to test very well. He's incredibly athletic.
I like his tape.
Outside zone scheme, he can make that backside cutoff with relative ease. He's at 174 right now. I think he could go up about 50 spots after this.
Now, my next pick isn't probably going to make big leap in terms of the numbers.
It was my pick, but I'll let you have it.
But I think he's going to end up going in the second round, and that's quarterback Kyle McCord from Syracuse. And I find a quarterback I like every year more maybe than most people do, and I think you like him too. But,
I do.
But I think Kyle McCord stands in and takes shots, and he's tough, and he's accurate. Now, he's not a great athlete. I mean, he's a good enough athlete. He moves around a little bit, and he has a tendency to predetermine where he's going with the football at times, which he did it against Pitt. It cost him a big time. But I think this kid is going to be a much better NFL quarterback than he's getting credit for right now. Kyle McCord is my pick.
I love his mental makeup because he could have literally went into the trash can after what happened at Ohio State. He goes to Syracuse and looks like a totally different dude. And I'm with Pete. I think he does go in the second round. He's my QB4 in this draft class. So I guess it's up to me right now. Kobe King, linebacker from Penn State at 172, which I couldn't believe he was that high. Yeah. Athletic guy, run hit guy, instinctual. I think he's going to jump at least into the third round. So at 172, you're talking about great value right there, guy jumping up.
Well, I'll say this about King. There's not a lot of guys that are like box run linebackers in this class. He's one of them.
Yeah.
Like he can take on blocks and play it between the tackles, and that's like, it looks sexy going and running out in space in college, but the majority of your play at the NFL level is just like dirty work in the middle.
Got to be able to shock and shed and get off those guards. My next guy is another guy that people aren't talking about enough, Barron Sorrell from Texas. I know we were talking about him on the pod earlier this week. He's at 136. People get enamored with those 2 defensive tackles, and they're really good players. But Sorrell, when you talk about him sort of being kind of like the heartbeat of that Texas defense, he did all the gritty and dirty work. He rushed inside on third down, has very efficient hands, gets – he extends on offensive linemen really quick, gets off blocks, make plays in the backfield, tackles for loss. He's at 136. I think he's going to go in the third round. He's a player that I really like as well.
You mentioned the 2 defensive tackles because I almost put Broughton on this list. I think Vernon Brown's going to be a really good player and kind of undervalued a little bit right now. But I did go with a defensive tackle. I put Jamari Caldwell from Oregon. I tell you what, you watch Harmon, and Harmon's a really good player, but you watch this kid. He is a big power player. And what is everybody looking for now? They want the copy. We're going to be big on the interior. We're going to be strong on the interior. I'll tell you what, the Buffalo Bills could use a guy like Jamari Caldwell in their defensive line. He would be perfect for him. So he's at 161. I think he's going to go much higher than that.
He just rolled before we went on camera here a 5.17 at about 330 pounds.
Woo!
That's a good time. That's a good time for a no-sack. Last one here. I'm going to go with Danny Stutzman. He's at 131 on the board, the Oklahoma linebacker. I think he's going to, have a frame and size that not a lot of guys in this class have, right? That's prototypical NFL middle linebacker size. And I think he's going to run pretty well. I think he is going to test, not off the charts anything, but I think he runs mid 4.6s. That's more than good enough. That's like where Jack Campbell was to go 18th overall.
Yeah.
Dave Sussman.
You know what's funny? I'm glad you put him on there because when you watch their tape and you watch their games, that kid makes plays all over the place.
He does.
He's a good football player, and sometimes those kind of guys, you look at him and you go, well, he's not a 4-4-5 guy or whatever, but sometimes you just need good football players, and he's a good football player.